Welcome to the Schmoopydady streaming experience. I'm your host, as per usual, Schmoopydady. In case it's the first time you're watching the stream, the VOD, or the video on YouTube, I'm a monthly Hearthstone Wild Legend player who typically hits Legend first a month, and after that I goof off. When I goof off, I play your decks. Except when I'm blinding myself with the flashbang, apparently. I do these set reviews for mini sets and sets with a wild perspective, and last time I got the very reasonable feedback that I should read the cards more often so that you can just sort of listen along and know exactly what everything does. Probably won't do that, I'll be completely honest with you. Some of these cards are not worth my time or energy to be spent on that, so I will sort of go about them and hope that you could read them just fine, because fuck that nose. All right. Let's start with Volcross. Rush, Taunt, Battle Cry, spend a shitload of corpses and either get 10 plus stats, 20 plus stats, or 30 plus stats to a 8 mana 5/5 with Rush and Taunt. In Wild, this is probably like goes in a value pile. The fact that it's an elemental and a beast and we can tutor it with Cattle Rancher is mildly interesting to me. But you're going to have to make enough corpses to make this worth. And for me, one of the most important cards that Death Knight can play is Corpse Explosion. I'm a little bit reticent to hop on the double unholy single blood train, and I don't think any other rune type except for maybe triple blood would be worth. I don't think triple blood wants this. If we're going to go triple unholy. If we're going to go triple unholy, we might as well just do Bone Storm. So, like, I don't know. This seems kind of mid for Wild. Frostburn Matriarch. It's a lot of stats. If you're holding a Dark Gift minion, summon 2 4/4 dragons with Taunt. It's a shitload of stats, but here's the problem I have with all the Dark Gift. If you're holding a Dark Gift minion cards, Dark Gift minions are supposed to be super high tempo, or at least they feel like they're designed to be super high tempo. After you've kind of made kind of a shitty tempo play, right? Like the turn before, you've discovered a Dark Gift minion, you've played somewhat of a vanilla minion. We sort of put up with Xavius, because Xavius is like okay stats for his cost, but also he tutors a very specific minion from our deck. We can build our deck around the fact that Xavius is going to go get us the minion that we want, and so we can put up with playing a 4 mana 4/4 because we know our Reno costs 2 less, or has double battle cry or whatever you want you want with it. So like I don't know how I feel about generating and then holding a Dark Gift card just to get these payoffs. They feel a little slow to me. Maybe they're fine in Standard where you have other shit to do, but in Wild, it just feels a little too cute to be good. So this is probably a nasty arena card. You draft 40 copies of it. You generate 1 Dark Gift minion. You never play it. You hold on to it for dear life, and then you play 14 Frostburn Matriarchs. It sounds like dog shit for Wild. Cremate seems like okay mana cheat. Like, you might just play this just to play this. The fact that you're discovering a minion with the Dark Gift and then you're discounting it almost makes up for the fact that you're passing turn 3, but there's no rune on this. You can get away with that in Blood, and Dark Gifts are good, by and large. Pardon my no ad blocker. It's just going to add to the cursed amount of the stream. Sigil of Cinder. Nasty-looking card. At the end of your turn, deal 6 damage, split randomly amongst all enemies. That can go face. Yes, please. This seems fine. If you're going to do the Fel thing, that seems fine. Fel Fire Blaze. If you just cast a Fel spell, destroy this and deal 2 damage to all enemies. Fucking weird. Sure. Okay. I don't know why you'd play this on purpose. It is an elemental. I don't think that matters for Demon Hunter. It's kind of cute. It's probably going to be a nasty arena card. Scourge Reaver is really interesting to me. Battle Cry, discover a Fel spell. Not the greatest thing in the world. It is a 4 mana 4/4. But we play the questline in Demon Hunter, so maybe you don't actually care about that. Reduce the cost of Fel spells in your hand by 1. This seems like kind of a combo enabler, and you don't mind, again, it's a 4 mana 4/4. You don't mind playing it on 4. You do get a little bit of a limited spell school in Demon Hunter since it's Fel. Reducing your Fel spells by 1 is interesting. I could see it maybe making the cut as a 1 of in an Il'gynoth list if you were experimental, but I don't know if it's quite good enough. This intrigues me just because of the mana cheat. You could cheat a fair amount of mana if you have a bunch of Fel spells in your hand. How easy it is to get a bunch of Fel spells in your hand might be just slower quest line. I don't know. I would sniff it, but it probably is not good in the long term. If it doesn't fit in some sort of wild spell thing, or some sort of standard kill from hand OTK that everybody hates, I don't know what home it goes in, but it's intriguing. A Mirdrasil. Summon a 1-cost minion, gain 1 armor, draw 1 card, refresh 1 mana, improves with each use. I like banking this for 4. Bioprogeniting or ramping up to Naralax, and then using this to pop off early with some sort of crystal refresh immediately. I look at this card and I treat it more like Parrot Sanctuary in a Murmur deck or a Lightning Bloom than I would like an actual Greed Pile card. Because I think everybody who plays Greed Piles looks at this and says, it's too slow, it's too slow. And it's like, shut the fuck up. But I think this is actually kind of okay as like a pop-off enabler for Abiana or Naralax. Overheat. Give your minions +1/+1. Discard a nature spell to give them +1/+1 more. Treant Druid kind of sniffs this, but like Treant Druid half the time wants to just run nature spells. And the other half the time, you got like these weird innervates that you don't use. So I could see somebody trying to use this in some sort of fire druid. I don't think it's very good. Charred Chameleon, I think, is even worse. I think it's been genetically engineered to be used in an imbue druid, but like, just like, no, not for wild. Gross. Magma Hound. Rush. After this attacks a minion and survives. Deal this minion's attack damage split amongst all enemies. Now, if this isn't made for some sort of imbue hunter, I don't know what is. It is clearly taxed around the fact that it's meant to be used with imbue, right? Like, you look at it and you say to yourself, oh, this is very clearly just supposed to be paired with imbue. Only imbue. I mean, you could buff it with other stuff, but that's mostly what we're using it for. I guess it's fine for that, but maybe not in wild. I'd have to see. This strikes me as the kind of thing that'd be really good in standard. And then it's so good in standard, we try to start like mimicking it in wild and find out that it's like tier 3.5 playable. Bursting Shot. Everybody goes, Questline Hunter, Questline Hunter, Questline Hunter. It's 3 random enemies. It's only 2 damage. If pirates are a little bit more in fashion, I could see this being okay, but a lot of our breakpoints are 3 health now. I don't know if it's as good as people think it is. It's definitely better than Bullish Shot or Bullish Shot. I don't know if it's better than Grievous Bite. Grievous Bite deals 3 and then 1 to the sides. So if you're running Bullish Shot, you cut that for Bursting Shot. Why are you running Bullish Shot? Tending Dragonkin. Battlecry, copy the lowest beast in your hand. Surely there's some combo enabler for this. I actually have more faith in this card than maybe even the other 2 cards, because it seems to me like something that's like very, you get a very clear result by running this, and it's a 3-mana 3/2 in a deck that probably has some survivability built into it. I wouldn't be shocked if this actually saw a little bit of play. In a bad deck, but like you can build around it. It's actually kind of okay. Mage, Smoldering Grove, draw 1 card for 2 mana, and it's a fire spell. I think this is bad in Quest Mage because you have a tough time making your fire spells cost 0. Maybe you run it over volume up, but I'm not sure. I don't think so. It does make your what's the 0 mana spell? Whatever the 0 mana spell that discounts a fire spell by, it does make that better. But you have to have it sit in a turn to wait in order for it to really get value. That's fine since we're pinging on 2 often, but not really fine if like you have to use like it gets, if you off the draw, it's kind of bad. So I'm a little bit, yeah, I'm a little skeptical of this one in like a Quest Mage. Scourging Winds. Everybody is calling the second coming of that spell from Forge and the Titans, but discards a fire spell. So like, if you're only running 2 fire spells and they're both Scorching Winds, like it's like you're always discarding Soulfire with Soulfire. This seems infuriating to me, not interesting. Infernal Herald. After you cast a fire spell, get a random elemental, reduce its cost by 3. Seems like a standard card where the elemental pool is a lot smaller, or Arena where the elemental pool is probably cracked in half. In Wild, our elemental pool is too large. Sometimes you're going to get free shit. That's kind of cool. Sometimes you're going to get shit that's like super expensive and super niche. So I don't know about Infernal Herald. Paladin. Ashleaf Pixley. If you're holding a spell that costs 5 or more, gain Life Shield, Divine Shield, and Lifesteal. I don't mind that if that effect is always triggering for 2 mana. How would you have to build the deck for that effect to always be triggering as a battle cry for 2 mana? Seems like an okay card if you're constantly doing like, Order in the Court to go get like your beam. Like that seems kind of cool, but it seems a little too niche for me to be comfortable with. Smoldering Strength is interesting if we play hand buff Paladin. Let's say you keep this in the mulligan, and on turn 3 you're paying 1 mana for +3/+3. That seems pretty good, and since it is pretty cheap, it's like a better Smuggler's Run. Since it is pretty cheap and it is ramping up, it's not that expensive, and you can play something behind it. This I'd keep an eye on if hand buff Paladin is remotely playable. Unfortunately, hand buff Paladin at the current moment is not remotely playable. Searing Reflection, draw a minion, summon an 8/8 copy of it with Divine Shield. Seems super niche. For some reason, I want to do like Mechathune with this, and that sounds like absolutely terrible. I guess it's because it's draw a minion, you could very much figure out exactly what minion you want. This is more of a big Paladin deck. Weirdly enough, as much as I say, you know, friends don't let friends play big warrior, big Paladin has been more effective in the past. Paladin in general seems to have just sort of like better tools for surviving and cheating shit out. So like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a meme deck here for this, but I'm not, unless you can do something really, really cute with this, like I don't know, like Malygos, right? You run Sphere and you run Malygos, and you find a way to cheat the fire spell. It just seems kind of copy to me. Priest, give a minion +3/+3. If you cast 3 spells, return this to your hand when played. Is this card the nuts in Nazmani Priest? Is this card the nuts in a Dreadshot style Nazmani Priest with Shadow Visions and shit's always free and you just go sort of nuts? Is this another copy of Lightspeed, but like one that's a little bit more high maintenance? Maybe. I'd keep an eye on this. I'm not too impressed, but I would keep an eye on this. Smoldering Ascent eventually becomes a 2-mana deal 3, but it's fire. Maybe in a questline Priest. I'm not too convinced. It doesn't go face either, so Spirit of the Kaldori. I think that this might find its way into XL Shadow Priest. We have, you know, Papercraft Angel. If you coin out Papercraft Angel, it's almost never dying. It comes down to whether or not are we okay with playing this as a 2-mana taunt with Lifesteal. I'm going to say yes. After a decent Pirate opener, Pirate 1-drop, pull patches, in a mirror against like Shadow Priest, if like this is your only turn 2 play, you're preventing an easy trade, and you're also bringing Lifesteal into the equation. I think it could be interesting. Like, let's say like you drop this down and like a Fellwing trades into it. Now a Fellwing dies to a hero power. You saved 3 damage and you healed for 1. I think it could be fine. Like, we're kind of starved of good 2-drops, and this could be, like, good enough in a list like that. I don't know. I'd keep an eye on it. I'd try it out in XL. Smoke Bomb, way too big a discover pool. Get that shit out of here. I actually kind of like Dark Gifts. I think Dark Gifts are wild playable, but I don't... This discover a combo, Battlecry, or Stealth Minion. Too much shit can go wrong. Everburning Phoenix should apparently, possibly, have a beast tag to it. If it does, we can play the funny Barons, or not Barons, Titans... no. What was the cowboy one? Whatever. Badlands? We could play the funny rabbit from Badlands and give this rush and do a cheap Sonya in imitation and trade this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Or at least until you run out of shit to trade into. Seems a little high maintenance to me, but like all the same, I would actually prefer they don't actually give this the beast tag that they claim online it should get, because I don't want to see that interaction, because I don't need any more animation sheet shit in my format. Cinderstorm Sword is interesting. It'd be interesting if it was a 1-mana 4/2 weapon that you could play on 1, but here's the problem. It's a minion with a Dark Gift. You have to have a minion with a Dark Gift. Now, we have like the cute combo spell. You could coin, play the cute combo spell, get 2 minions from your opponent, give them, get Dark Gifts on them. Also have mana to play Cinderstorm, and that's a very aggressive start. How often you can pull that off, I don't know. Do you really want to build around that? Probably not. As I said before, Dark Gift minions are usually pretty high tempo. I don't like holding on to them for payoffs like this. Shaman, I'm actually going to steal somebody else's words. KVLT says, to be fair, Shaman's class identity is to get bad cards that don't synergize with each other. This expansion's theme was unplayable cards, and it makes sense that Shaman's miniset cards are also non-synergistic and unplayable. Warlock. Configuration. Deal 5 mana damage to a minion. Its owner draws a card. Seems like dog shit. You don't want to play this on your own minions. You don't want to give your opponent cards 9 times out of 10. Or are we playing Mill Seedlock? Like, what the fuck are we doing? So, no, looks like dog shit. Ember Root Destroyer. Whenever your hero takes damage on your turn, deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion. Seems like it'd be kind of nuts when Dark Lair was a little bit more prone to being aggroed down. Now this seems way too slow. Shadow Flame Stalker. Discover a random demon. Don't need to read anymore. Warrior. Dragon Turtle. That's a Dragon Turtle. If you're holding a minion with a Dark Gift, next, give all minions in your hand +3/+3. They are discarded in 3 turns. I mean, people are saying, cute warrior, cute warrior, cute warrior. Are we waiting till turn 5 to play a 5-mana 5/5 and dump our hand? Dog shit. Deal 3 damage. Discover a warrior minion with a Dark Gift. This is actually kind of interesting to me. It's sort of like, 3 mana, deal 3 is an okay breakpoint to discover and get some value. I could see this making its way as an eccentric, like, 40th card in Arena Warrior. Nutty. Tindral Sage Swift. We're on the neutrals now. Deal 1 damage to all enemies. If it's your opponent's turn, deal 4 damage instead. This is going to feel like shit putting in your deck. This is going to feel like shit if you're the opponent and you have to kill it. You have to pick when the 4 damage happens, basically. Or otherwise neutralize it in some way where the death rattle doesn't trigger. You can sort of play around it, but it is sort of like a blade of Damocles floating over your head, reminding you that you have to make this key decision at some point, but it is only 4 damage, so like kind of whatever. But it kind of has charge, but it kind of doesn't. I don't know. It's a weird one. I feel like this is another card that's going to feel turbo broken in Arena where removal's kind of limited and like it doesn't have rush or anything. So it's just sort of like if you're ahead and then you plop this down, it just sort of puts you more ahead. Might be a little win more. I don't quite know how. This strikes me as like the 30th legendary people are just going to throw into standard lists, and then you're going to see it pop up in wild because reasons. Like, I don't know. And then it's going to disappear with the next expansion. Kind of like Pozic. Farak the Blazing, immune to fire spells. Battlecry, cast 20 mana worth of fire spells at random enemies. So it's going to try and, pick random enemies, but we've got Fires of Zinajar and Cataclysm and Plague of Flames, and I'm pretty sure Eat the Imp can still eat Farak. Fyrak. I'm going to play it in Astral Communion because, like, why the fuck not? But is it any better outside of Astral Communion? I don't really know. The thing about Astral Communion is I probably won't have a lot of spells in my hand to discard, but also Deathwings are good in Astral Communion because you're top decking them and then you're erasing a board state and providing tempo in behind. Fyrak can kind of be a shittier version of that, like a 3rd copy of Deathwing. Do we want a 3rd copy of Deathwing? But why the fuck not? It's, as I've previously stated, Astral Communion is the jungle juice or the I forget what Sheep called it, but I would call it jungle juice of Hearthstone decks. Just throw whatever shit you got in it, and it'll be fine. Zaquil Flamemancer. I feel like the only deck that could possibly make this card not suck is something like Reno Druid. If you're playing this in Reno Druid, seek mental help. Petal Picker. Battlecry. If you'd imbued your hero power twice, draw 2 cards. People keep saying, Mage gets draw, Mage gets draw, Mage gets draw. I look at Petal Picker and I say to myself, how often has Imbue Mage actually imbued twice to play this on curve? I want to play this card on curve. I don't want to have it sitting in my hands and then randomly on 4 mana. Oh, 4 mana. I get to play my 3 mana, 2/3 AI with a body with a River Croc stapled to it. Like, I mean, I'd probably be excited to do that in the past, but it is conditional, and I think it's a little bit weak, especially because at a certain point, board space becomes very premium for Imbue Mages, and you might not want to just pollute one of your board spaces with a River Croc. I'm not so sure on this one. Last but not least might be the single card that we see forever from the fucking Miniset, Living Flame. It's pretty simple. It's a 2-mana 2/2. It's an elemental. Death Rattle, draw a fire spell. Obviously, if you're an elemental mage, Lunatic, This looks great. You have so many high-impact fire spells. This tutor's one of those. Elemental Mage is getting a shitload of draw now. And it gets like draw on top of draw on top of draw. I think that's kind of exciting if you like that in the deck. Like you can do cute stuff with this where you can make the only fire spell in your warrior deck Black Rock and Roll, and now this is tutoring Black Rock and Roll, and you can also run other spells that don't suck. So you could actually build some survivability into a Black Rock and Roll deck. That's kind of cool. You could have this go get your Wildfire or your Flame Ward or, like, you know, insert high impact fire spell that you want in the future that they print that wins you the game. I don't know. This seems really good to me. It's basically like Loot Hoarder, but like way better and a little bit more aggressively statted, and you can kind of get away with doing a 2-mana 2/2, and sometimes it's an elemental, and it's even better than a 2-mana 2/2. The signature cards, this art style looks fucking sick. This art style is so cool. It's making me think impure thoughts about putting the Black Knight in my deck. That's how cool this art style is. I love these signatures. All right. Anyway, that's my mini set prediction. I'm not sure if we're going to see a whole lot of impact on Wild from the mini set. I think the one thing I would watch is there anything cute we can do with Living Flame to apply that in Wild? Is there any kind of, I don't know, you know, does this end it in Quest Mage? Probably not. Will this make Druid faster in some way? It's still taking out a board space, as somebody pointed out to me. Femboy Joyma pointed out to me that the 1-cost minion does take up a board space. Like, this might make sort of an impact on the Wild meta. I don't really expect anything else to. Maybe Fell Demon Hunter, if Fell Demon Hunter is cool enough. That is my Snarky card review. If you enjoy this content, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing on my YouTube channel, or joining us live on Twitch, roughly 9 o'clock East Coast time zone most nights.